6 African nations took part in the last FIFA World Cup, and the immense contribution of the continent's players to the game around the world is recognised by all. But there was a time, not that long ago, when teams from Africa were not held in such high esteem. Africa only had one qualifier for the 1974 FIFA World Cup, and they were Zaire. In their first match, they lost to Scotland by only 2 goals, after what had been a fairly solid defensive display. Next up was Yugoslavia. The Europeans had a strong squad and had held the defending champions Brazil to a goalless draw in the tournament's opening game. However, they knew almost nothing of their prospective opponents.
All we knew about such countries was from our geography lessons at school. That they had rich gold and diamond mines in Katanga, and that they didn't have a democratic government of any sort.
We knew very little. I don't think any of the other national teams in our group knew anything about them either. Only that the Yugoslav Vidanic was the coach, and we were afraid that he might know us better than he knew his own team. That's what happens when you don't know the opponent, and you've never ever played against them.
The match was played in Gelsenkirchen. It kicked off 15 minutes late, and it was obvious there had been issues in the Zaire camp, although what these were was unknown to the Yugoslav captain.
We were irritated to have been kept waiting, as we wanted the game to start straight away. At that time, Zaire was known as a team that it wouldn't be easy to score against, and we needed a good result to get us through to the next round.
They needn't have worried. It turned out Zaire's team had been delayed after a huge dressing room row. Bonuses they'd been promised weren't paid, and they were in no mood to face one of Europe's top sides. Dusan Bajovic opened the scoring in 8 minutes, and a few minutes later, Dzajic had a chance to make it too. This was all a bit more straightforward than they'd thought.
Perhaps it was my habit anyway when the wall lined up, but I remember thinking that we'd score very easily against this team. When I saw that they were so small, it was very important for me to simply chip the ball over the wall. That's all I had to do.
Dzajic added a third. Still only 20 minutes gone, and suddenly things got even more bizarre. Zaire cashed in one of their 2 substitutions on a new keeper, Tumilandu. His first job was to pick the ball out of his net, and for some of his teammates, it was all too much.
Zaire must have thought that things were as they would have been on their own pitch. They surrounded the referee and almost attacked him. At that time, touching a referee was a most serious offence, and they had to be punished. Zaire paid by having a player sent off, and they had to play with 10 players. But it would have made no difference if they'd had an 11th or even a 12th player to help them. This was our day.
It was only midway through the first half. Zaire were already 4 goals behind, 1 man down, and dispirited by problems behind the scenes. It would be the easiest match the Yugoslavs would ever play. In the end, Zaire could perhaps count themselves fortunate to lose by only 9-0.
Sometimes opponents are asked questions and they simply cannot answer. In sport, that happens sometimes. They didn't respond to the way we were playing the game, and they became completely demotivated. They were unable to solve the problem of Duško Bajovic, or Dzajic, or Katalinski, who towered over them with every jump. That was the reason there was a record score. For us, though, we had to forget about the result and simply move on.
Zaire, or the Democratic Republic of Congo as they are now, have never been back.